Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Rakshama Krishna 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 Pahiman Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahimam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahimam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Charine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Rama Sri Madhusudana Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarva Avastang Gatopiva Yat Smaret Pundarik Aksham Sabaya Abhyantara Suchi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukang Karoti Vachalam Pangung Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamahang Vande Sri Gurun Dinataranam Yat Kripa Tamahang Vande Parama Ananda Madhavam Trinadapi Sunichena Toror Eva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Iva Kevalam Kalo Nastiva 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 Gatir Anyata Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Korea Aikya Arna Koriho Mane Asha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, in our last class, we saw that there was a Brahmana who complained to King Ugrasena how he had lost one son after another immediately by his wife giving birth. And so, after 9 sons, Arjuna happened to hear what the Brahmana was saying, and so he vowed that he would protect the next child born of the Brahmana. And so when that time came, the Brahmana called out to Arjuna, and he came and he shot his arrows protecting, and he remembered Lord Shiva instead of Lord Krishna. But upon immediately taking birth, the child was swept up and taken up into the heavens. Arjuna had vowed that if he could not protect the Brahman's son, that he would commit suicide and enter the fire. And so that's where we left off. Arjuna was about to commit suicide. Let us now pick up. Lord Krishna, however, was very kind to Arjuna because Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna. Krishna persuaded Arjuna not to enter the fire out of disgrace. Krishna indicated that since Arjuna was his friend, if Arjuna were to enter the fire out of hopelessness, indirectly it would be a blemish on Krishna. Krishna therefore checked Arjuna, assuring him that Krishna would find the baby. Krishna told Arjuna, "O my friend, do not foolishly commit suicide." After addressing Arjuna in this way, Lord Krishna called for his transcendental chariot, and Krishna mounted it along with Arjuna, proceeding north. The all-powerful personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, could have brought the child back without any effort. But we should always remember that Krishna was playing the part of a human being, just as a human being has to endeavor to achieve certain results. So Lord Krishna, acting just like an ordinary human being, or like Krishna's friend Arjuna, left Dwaraka to bring back the Brahmana's baby. By appearing in human society and exhibiting his pastimes as a human being, Krishna definitely showed that there was not a single personality greater than he. And there is a familiar statement, God is great. That is the definition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So at least within this material world, while he was present, Krishna proved that there was no greater personality within the universe. Seated upon his chariot with Arjuna, Krishna proceeded north, crossing over many planetary systems. These are described in Srimad Bhagavatam as Sapta Dvipa. The word Dvipa means island. The planets within the universe are sometimes described in the Vedic literature as Dvipas. The planet on which we are living is called Jambu Dvipa. In this way, outer space is taken as a great ocean of air. And within that great ocean of air, there are many islands, which are the different planets. And in each and every planet, there are oceans also. In some of the planets, the oceans are of salt water, and in some of them there are oceans of milk. In others there are oceans of liquor, and in others there are oceans of ghee or oil. And there are different kinds of mountains also. Each and every planet has a different type of atmosphere. Krishna passed over all these planets and reached the covering of the universe. This covering is described in Srimad Bhagavatam as great darkness. The material world as a whole is described as dark. In the open space there is sunlight, and therefore it is illuminated. But in the covering, because of the absence of sunlight, naturally it is dark. When Krishna approached the covering layer of the universe, the 4 horses which were driving Krishna's chariot were named Shaibya, Sugriva, Megapushpa, and Balahaka. But these 4 horses appeared to hesitate before entering the darkness. And this hesitation is also a part of the pastimes of Lord Krishna, because the horses of Krishna are also not ordinary. For it is not possible for an ordinary horse to go all over the universe and then enter into its outer covering layers. So just as Krishna himself is transcendental, Krishna's chariot is transcendental, and Krishna's horses are transcendental. Indeed, everything about Krishna is transcendental, beyond the qualities of this material world. Now we should always remember that Krishna was playing the part of an ordinary human being, and his horses also, by the will of Krishna, played the parts of ordinary horses in hesitating to enter the darkness. Krishna is known as Yogeshvara, as stated in the last portion of Bhagavad Gita. Yogeshvaro Hari. All mystic powers are under Krishna's control. In our experience, we can see many human beings who have yogic mystic power and who sometimes perform very wonderful acts. But Krishna is understood to be the master of all mystic power. Therefore, when Krishna saw that his horses were hesitant to proceed into the darkness, Krishna immediately released his disc. That disc is known as Sudarshana Chakra, which illuminated the sky 100 times brighter than sunlight. The darkness of the covering of the universe is also a creation of Krishna's. And the Sudarshana Chakra is Krishna's constant companion. Thus, Krishna penetrated the darkness, keeping the Sudarshana Chakra before him. Srimad Bhagavatam states that the Sudarshana Chakra penetrated the darkness, just as an arrow released from the Sharanga bow of Lord Ramachandra penetrated the army of Ravana. The word Su means very nice, and Darshana means observation. So by the grace of Lord Krishna's disc, Sudarshana, everything can be seen very nicely, and nothing can remain in darkness. Thus, Lord Krishna and Arjuna crossed over the great region of darkness which covers the material universes. Then Arjuna saw the effulgent light known as Brahma Jyoti. The Brahmajyoti is situated outside the covering of the material universes. And because it cannot be seen with our present material eyes, this Brahmajyoti is sometimes called Avyakta. This spiritual effulgence is the ultimate destination of the impersonalists, who are sometimes known as Vedantists. The Brahmajyoti is also described as Ananta Param, for it is unlimited and unfathomed. When Lord Krishna and Arjuna reached this region of the Brahmajyoti, Arjuna could not tolerate the glaring effulgence, and so Arjuna closed his eyes. Lord Krishna and Arjuna's reaching the Brahmajyoti region is described in another Shastra known as Hari Vangsha. In that portion of the Vedic literature, Krishna informs Arjuna, "My dear Arjuna, this glaring effulgence, this transcendental light that you are seeing, is my bodily rays. O chief of the descendants of Bharata, this Brahmajyoti is I myself." It is just as the sun disk and the sunshine cannot be separated, so Krishna and his bodily rays, known as Brahmajyoti, also cannot be separated. Thus, Krishna claims that the Brahmajyoti is he himself. This is clearly stated in the Hari Vangsha, when Krishna says the words, "Aham Sa." The Brahmajyoti is a combination of the minute particles known as spiritual sparks or living entities, who are known as Chitkana. The Vedic words Soham, or I am the Brahmajyoti, can also be applied to the living entities, who can also claim to belong to the Brahmajyoti. In Hari Vangsha, Krishna further explains, "Oh, this Brahmajyoti is an expansion of my spiritual energy." Krishna told Arjuna, "The Brahmajyoti is beyond the region of my external energy known as Maya Shakti. When one is situated in the material world, it is not possible for him or her to experience this Brahman effulgence. In other words, in the material world, this effulgence is not manifest, whereas in the spiritual world, it is manifest. And that is the purport of the words found in the Hari Vangsha, Vyakta Avyakta. And in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Avyakto Vyaktat Sanatanaha. Both these energies are eternally manifest. After this, Krishna and Arjuna entered a vast spiritual water. This spiritual water is called the Karana Samudra, or causal ocean, which means that this ocean is the origin of the creation of the material world. And this region is also known as Viraja, because it is free from the influence of the three qualities of the material world: goodness, passion, and ignorance. There is a Vedic scripture known as Mrityunjaya Tantra, and there is a vivid description of this Karana ocean or Viraja. It is stated there that the highest planetary system within the material world is known as Satya Loka or Brahma Loka, and beyond that there is Rudra Loka, and beyond that, Mahavishnu Loka. Regarding this Mahavishnu Loka, it is stated in the Brahma Samhita, Yakaranarna Vajale Vajati Smayoga Nidram Ananta Jagadanda Saroma Kupa. Lord Mahavishnu lying in the Karana ocean, and when he exhales, innumerable universes come into existence, and when he inhales, innumerable universes enter within him. In this way, the material creation is generated and again withdrawn. When Krishna and Arjuna entered the water, it appeared that there was a strong hurricane of transcendental effulgence blowing, and the water of the Karana ocean was greatly agitated. By the grace of Krishna, Arjuna had the unique experience of being able to see the very beautiful Karana Samudra. Accompanied by Krishna, Arjuna then saw a large palace within the water. There were many thousands of pillars and columns made of valuable jewels, and the glaring effulgence of those columns was so beautiful that Arjuna was charmed by it. Within that palace, Arjuna and Krishna saw the gigantic form of Ananta Deva, who is also known as Shesha. Lord Ananta Deva, or Shesha Naga, was in the form of a great serpent with thousands of hoods, each one of them decorated with valuable effulgent jewels, all beautifully dazzling. Each of Ananta Deva's hoods had 2 eyes, and they appeared very fearful. Ananta Deva's body was as white as the mountain top of Kailas, which is always covered by snow. Ananta Deva's necks were bluish, as were his tongues. Thus, Arjuna saw the Shesha Naga form. And Arjuna also saw that on the very soft white body of Shesha Naga, Lord Mahavishnu was lying very comfortably. Mahavishnu appeared all-pervading and very powerful. And Arjuna could understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that form is known as Purushottama. Mahavishnu is known as Purushottama, or the Supreme, Best Personality of Godhead, because from this form emanates within the material world another form of Vishnu known as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So, the Mahavishnu form of the Lord is also called Purushottama, which is actually a combined word, Purusha Uttama. Because Mahavishnu is beyond the material world, the word Tama means darkness, and the word Ut means above, transcendental. Therefore, Uttama means above the darkest region of the material world. Arjuna saw that the bodily color of Purushottama, or Mahavishnu, was as dark as a new cloud in the rainy season. Mahavishnu was dressed in a very nice yellow clothing. Mahavishnu's face was beautifully smiling, and Mahavishnu's eyes, which were like lotus petals, were very attractive. Lord Mahavishnu's helmet was bedecked with valuable jewels, and Mahavishnu's beautiful earrings enhanced the beauty of the curling hair on his head. Lord Mahavishnu had 8 arms, all very long, reaching down to his knees. Mahavishnu's neck was decorated with the Kaustuba jewel, and his chest was marked with the symbol of Shrivatsa, which means the resting place of the goddess of fortune. Mahavishnu wore a garland of lotus flowers down to his knees, and this long garland is known as Vajayanti garland. The Lord was being attended by his personal associates, Nanda and Sunanda, as well as the personified Sudarshana disc, which was also standing by him. As stated in the Vedas, Krishna has innumerable energies, and they all also stood there in their personified forms. The most important among them were Pushti, the energy for nourishment; Sri, the energy of beauty; Kirti, the energy of reputation; Aja, the energy of material creation. All these energies are invested in the administrators of the material world, namely Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu, and also in Indra, king of the heavenly planets, as well as Chandra, Varuna, and the sun god. In other words, all these demigods, being empowered by Lord Krishna with certain energies, engage in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Mahavishnu feature is an expansion of Krishna's own body. As far as all the four-handed forms of Krishna are concerned, it is clearly stated that even the most identical four-handed form of Krishna, which is actually known as Mahavishnu, who is lying on the cosmic ocean, and from whose breathing so many innumerable universes are passing out and entering, Mahavishnu is also an expansion of the Supreme Lord Krishna. The Brahma Samhita confirms that Mahavishnu is a portion of the plenary full expansion of Krishna. All such expansions are non-different from the personality of Godhead. But since Krishna appeared within this material world to manifest his pastimes as a human being, Krishna and Arjuna immediately offered respects to Lord Mahavishnu by bowing down before him. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that Lord Krishna offered respect to Mahavishnu. This means that Krishna offered obeisances unto none other than himself. Because Lord Mahavishnu is non-different from Krishna himself, this offering of obeisances by Krishna to Mahavishnu is not, however, that form of worship known as Ahangrahopasana. This Ahangrahopasana is sometimes recommended for persons trying to elevate themselves to the spiritual world by performing the sacrifice of knowledge. Such persons are also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita by the words Jnana Yajnena Chapi Anye Yajanto Mam Upasate. Although there was no necessity for Krishna to offer obeisances, because Krishna is himself the master teacher, Krishna was teaching Arjuna just how one should respect Lord Mahavishnu. Arjuna, however, became very much afraid upon seeing this gigantic form of everything, distinct from any material experience. Seeing Krishna offering obeisances to Lord Mahavishnu, Arjuna immediately followed Krishna and then stood before Mahavishnu with folded hands. After this, the gigantic form of Mahavishnu, now greatly pleased, smiled pleasingly and spoke as follows. My dear Krishna and Arjuna, I was very eager to see you both, and therefore I arranged to take away the babies of the Brahman and keep them here. I have been expecting to see you both at my palace. You too have appeared in this material world as my incarnations in order to minimize the force of the demoniac persons who burden the world. Now, after killing all the unwanted demons, you will please come back to me. The two of you are incarnations of the great sage Narayana, and you are both complete in yourselves. To protect the devotees and to annihilate the demons, and especially to establish religious principles in the world so that peace and tranquility may continue. You too are teaching the basic principles of factual religion so that the people of the world may follow you and thereby be peaceful and prosperous. Then both Krishna and Arjuna offered obeisances to Lord Mahavishnu, and taking back the Brahmana's children, they returned to Dwaraka via the same route by which they had entered the spiritual world. By this time, all the children of the Brahmana had duly grown up. After returning to Dwaraka, Krishna and Arjuna delivered to the Brahmana all of his sons. However, Arjuna was struck with great wonder after visiting the transcendental world by the grace of Lord Krishna. And by the grace of Krishna, Arjuna could understand that whatever opulence there may be within this material world is an emanation from Krishna. Any opulent position a person may have within this material world is only due to the mercy of Krishna. One should therefore always be in Krishna consciousness, in complete gratefulness to Lord Krishna. Because whatever one may possess is all bestowed by Krishna. Arjuna's wonderful experience due to the mercy of Krishna is one of the many thousands of pastimes performed by Krishna during his stay in this material world. They are all unique and have no parallel in the history of the world. And all these pastimes fully prove that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Yet, while present within this material world, Krishna played just like an ordinary man with many worldly duties. Krishna played the part of an ideal householder, possessing more than only 16,000 wives, 16,000 palaces, and over 160,000 children. Only. And in that role, Krishna performed many sacrifices just to teach the royal order how to live in this material world for the welfare of all humanity. As the ideal Supreme Personality, Krishna fulfilled the desires of everyone, from the Brahmanas, who are the highest persons in human society, down to the ordinary living entities, including the lowest of men, known as Chandalas. Just as King Indra is in charge of distributing rain all over the world to satisfy everyone in due course of time, so Lord Krishna satisfies everyone by pouring down his causeless mercy. Krishna's mission was to give protection to the devotees and to kill the demoniac kings. This is mentioned by Krishna in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. And therefore, Krishna killed many hundreds and thousands of demons. Some of them Krishna killed personally, and some were killed by Arjuna, who was deputed by Krishna. And in this way, Krishna established many pious kings, such as Yudhishthira, at the helm of the worldly affairs. Thus, by Krishna's divine arrangement, Krishna created the good government of King Yudhishthira, and there ensued peace and tranquility. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 89th chapter of Krishna, entitled The Super Excellent Power of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste Nara Singhaya, Prahlada Klada Dayane, Hiranya Kashi Purvakshaha, Shilatankana Kalaye, Ito Nrsinga Parato Nrsingo, Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsinga, Bahir Nrsingo Hridaye Nrsingo, Nrsingham Ading Sharanang Kapadye, Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam, Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringam, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Keshavadrita Nrsimha Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadish, Jaya Jagadish, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Om Tat Sat.